My name is Joe Berger, and I have the privilege of serving as the Provost of UMass Boston. And it is my pleasure to join the Chancellor in presenting the John F. Kennedy Award for Academic Excellence. Basim Naeem, please step forward.
In recognition of your numerous accomplishments, your leadership, your ethic of care, and your selfless service to others, I am pleased to present the 2025 John F. Kennedy Award for Academic Excellence to you, Basim. And now, our JFK Award winner, Basim Naeem, will present remarks on behalf of the class of 2025.
Assalamu alaikum and good morning, members of the UMass Boston class of 2025. I'd like to begin by congratulating you all for completing this monumental chapter of your lives, as graduating college is no easy feat. I would also like to take a moment to appreciate and congratulate the families and friends of the graduates, whose encouragement have carried us through challenges we often couldn't face alone. Winnie the Pooh couldn't have said it better when he said, "A day without a friend is like a pot without a drop of honey left inside." We are all here today because of the unwavering support we have offered each other. This is a milestone not just for us individuals, but for those who stood behind us while we kept moving forward. You should all feel incredibly proud for not only completing your degree requirements, but for also being there for each other the past 4 years. I'm sure each one of you is thinking of that one person who supported you the most. For me, it's my parents, Naeem and Saima. They made it possible for me to be the first member of my family to attend college in the United States. Two years ago, I took my citizenship test, which was an achievement made possible by their relentless hard work and sacrifice. My parents left their families behind 20 years ago in Pakistan to give me a better life, and I stand before here not just as a graduate, but as their legacy. I'd also like to thank Jen Maitino, Diane Penko, Dr. Sigmon, and Dr. Patania, as well as the rest of my mentors whose kindness and patience has fueled my passion for healthcare and science. When we started in 2021, masks were still required and classes were newly in person, which meant that I didn't have to line up my beard. It also meant that we didn't really know what each other looked like until we were sophomores. Looking bad, I'm pretty glad because my beard didn't connect until then anyways. The quad was still a massive pile of dirt, and now it's a beautiful greenery that the geese seem to be enjoying as much as us. I mean it when I say, please watch your step when you're taking pictures after this. 4 years ago, things were undoubtedly different. We as a class experienced 2 different presidential administrations, the ability to use ChatGPT to write emails, and a Celtics NBA championship. Furthermore, we witnessed Kanye's series of unprecedented crash outs. If you don't know what I'm talking about, please don't Google it. I promise you'll regret it. At a time when a lot of things remain challenging, UMass Boston has helped me realize that in order to enact change, it is imperative that one remains optimistic. Through my tenure as an RA and the leader of multiple clubs, I learned that without optimism, there is no beacon to guide us through the dark. There must be hope guided by optimism to be successful in anything you do, whether it be leading a club or enacting institutional change. Let's face it, society is going through a difficult time, and it is our generation that bears the responsibility of helping to fix it. That's why it is more important than ever to recognize the immense power we hold. We're entering the world with more than just a degree. We bring energy, ambition, and drive to create lasting change. We all possess the capacity to bring change, otherwise you wouldn't be sitting here today. So please give yourselves a round of applause. Last summer, I was privileged to take part in an internship at UMass Chan, where I worked on clinical trials for muscular dystrophy and ALS, which is a terminal illness. Before meeting the patients, I assumed they would be disheartened. Facing such a diagnosis, how couldn't they be? But I was wrong. One day, one of the patients, who we'll call Paul, came into the clinic. Paul educated me on the history of his illness before telling me that the reason he was taking part of this research. It was to contribute to research that would benefit his children and others suffering from the same illness. He didn't care whether or not the treatment would work for him. Truth be told, I was envious of Paul's ability to turn such a dark period of his life into one that gave himself and everyone around him courage and hope. I continued asking myself for days, how did he do it? How is it that he's able to think so positively through such a storm while I'm still complaining about my 8 a.m. classes? Then it clicked. The reason Paul was able to remain so optimistic was by creating purpose for himself. Paul refused to surrender. He chose to selflessly improve healthcare with the remaining time he had. Now, when we look at the state of the world, we must acknowledge the ongoing atrocities in Gaza, the instability in Kashmir, Sudan, Haiti, Syria, and Somalia. I fear many of us have become chronic complainers, complicit in the thought that we are powerless in enacting change. Rather than just performatively posting about it, we must find purpose in helping these causes, just like Paul did. We are at a volatile point in time where we cannot afford to be cynical. Too many of us post Instagram stories and consider that to be our daily dose of activism, when we can do so much more. Paul was able to remain optimistic as his terminal illness progressed, and in doing so, I realized that this is a value that we must incorporate into our daily lives. It does not have to be a political cause, but we must devote ourselves to a cause just as Paul did to remain optimistic about the future. John F. Kennedy said, "Ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country." A country is only as good as its people, and we are those people who will make this country better. We must change our attitude to be more optimistic and to have a quiet, fierce kind of hope, not the loud, performative kind. Hope that brings us to show up in the work that we do that betters the lives of those around us. It is not solely our degrees that will allow us to enact change. It is our passion and dedication to our causes that will. The world aches, and our optimism will allow us to be the ones who show up and do something about it. Make no mistake, our degrees are not the finish line. They are only the start of what we are capable of. When students read history textbooks 20 years down the line, they will learn that our mentality is what led us to be the first generation to start the fire that burns injustice, inequality, and oppression. I know every single one of you will unknowingly make a difference in someone's life, and I am truly honored to enter this next chapter with all of you. UMass Boston, class of 2025. Let's not wait for the future. Let's build it. Thank you.